This week, we are diving into the chilling mysteries and eerie phenomena surrounding one of the world's most haunted homes. Nestled in the small town of Bellaire, Ohio, the Bellaire House has long been shrouded in stories of supernatural activity, tragic histories, and ghostly encounters. Join us as we explore the spine-chilling experiences of those who dared to step inside, and as we step inside the house ourselves. You will soon know why and how the Bellaire House has earned its place as a beacon for the unknown, and one of our favorite spots to investigate. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, prepare to be captivated by the haunted Bellaire House. I'm Sammy.
And I'm Nicole.
And we are Spooky Sleuths.
Guys, welcome to one of our favorite haunts.
We're so excited. Welcome to a multi-part episode. You might notice that our surroundings are a little bit different if you're watching us on YouTube. We decided to shake things up a little bit and record this week's episode right from the location we're talking about. The Bellaire House.
We finally made it here this year.
Yes, and this is our first time staying 2 nights in a row, so it's been pretty great. This is our second day here. It is a Saturday, and we had a pretty good night last night.
Yeah, it's also very hot.
Very
hot.
Given that this is an extremely haunted location, please let us know if you hear or see anything during our episode that we may not.
That noise that you might hear from time to time is our stationary camera picking up.
Yes.
That's to be expected.
But we did want to set some toys out on our table, see if the REM pod will go off a little bit while we're recording. We're going to tell you all about the history of the home during this episode, and we'll see you back in the pod lab to go over the experiences that we had while we were here. I do want to mention that a lot of the information we are using for the history piece, in fact, I would say 99% of the information, it comes from the owner of the home, Kristen Lee. She has a book called Paranormal Confessions that I used for several parts of the story in order to make sure that I am accurately portraying the home and the experiences that others have in the home. I highly recommend this book, especially for the helpful tips that she provides at the end of each chapter.
It's also available on Audible if you're not a giant reader but you like audiobooks.
That's me. Other information has come from the Bellaire House website, and I think I used maybe one other source. But without further ado, let's talk about the family who started it all, the Heatheringtons. The Bellaire House was built in 1847 by a local businessman named Jacob Heatherington. Jacob was an immigrant from England in 1830, a year after his parents moved here. Jacob spent the first few years in Bellaire becoming a coal mine tycoon, eventually owning every coal mine in the Ohio Valley. He also had some ownership in glass manufacturing. By all accounts, Jacob was a very humble man despite his wealth. He didn't just own the mines, he worked in them too. He was very generous and helped the people of Bellaire when they fell on hard times, even providing housing for them as he owned 30 houses. Jacob actually became one of the largest taxpayers in Belmont County at that time. He had a best friend that many of you may know as Jack the Mule from a nursery rhyme called "This is the House That Jack Built." You know, this is the house that Jack built. This is the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built, and so on. Anyway, Jack the Mule helped Jacob build the Bellaire House and to expand his mines. Over time, Jacob had 667 acres of farm and mine lands and 110 acres of woodlands. After he met his wife Eliza, he built them a mansion at what is now 1699 Belmont Street, Bellaire, Ohio.
where we're at.
Eliza Armstrong was a young, beautiful woman who was literally chasing a falling star when she met her husband. One day, she saw a star fall from the sky and decided that she would track it down and keep it for herself. She stopped at a farm on her hunt and spoke to a woman named Mrs. Davis. Mrs. Davis was extremely religious and told her that a falling star was a bad omen. She told Eliza that she would be condemned to hellfire and brimstone if she continued to follow the star. She instructed Eliza to fall to her knees and pray, but Eliza persisted on her journey. She walked for miles to find this star until she was near the Ohio River. That's where she met Jacob, who was seeing his parents off to go back to England, I believe. The Bellaire House sits along the Ohio River near Ohio Route 7. It's close to the West Virginia cities of Wheeling and Moundsville, and not far from St. Clairsville, Ohio. You would never think, just driving by it, that it was haunted. But if you dare to stay the night, you'll change your mind. The house is huge. It's about 2,500 square feet with 4 bedrooms, a dining room, which is where we're at now, aka the seance room, a kitchen, living room, 2 bathrooms, a classic foyer, a huge attic, and a basement. It has hardwood floors and many fireplaces that are beautiful, one you can see behind us. Together, Jacob and Eliza had 10 children. Only 8 of the 10 children lived to adulthood.
That's still a lot of kids.
Especially back then, to make it to adulthood, that's a lot. The one we know the most about is named Alex Heatherington. He took over the family business when his father died in 1904. Back then, it was amazing that Jacob lived to the age of 90. But anyway, Alex had his own demons he was battling, literally. He was hearing and seeing things that weren't there, and he believed that demons were trying to kill him. He was even having epileptic seizures. He was found incompetent and was sent to the Athens Asylum for the Insane in Athens, Ohio. Fun fact, that asylum is now a dorm hall, I believe, on the Ohio University campus. When Alex was committed, it was because he lost the use of his manners. That was his official reason for being committed. Anyway, his psychologist states...
If it was just over manners, there's quite a few people I know that would be committed into an insane asylum.
Yeah. Me on a bad day.
Accurate.
His psychologist states that the cause of his mental troubles were business trouble that caused the trouble of domestic relations. Today, I wonder if he would have been found mentally incompetent or treated for epilepsy, which likely caused his auditory and visual hallucinations.
Or if it was a case of schizophrenia.
Yeah. But I'm thinking if he was having epileptic seizures...
Spit it out.
It could have caused some damage to areas in his brain that could have caused him to have these hallucinations. I don't know. Alex left the family empire to his daughter, Lyde. Lyde and her younger brother, Edwin, lived in the Bellaire House together after Edwin left the military. They had other siblings, but I believe that some had passed away. Their mother also suffered greatly from depression, so Lyde really was a mother figure for Edwin. In fact, today during rituals, when Kristen wants to confirm it's really Edwin that she's communicating with, she'll ask the spirit who raised him or who took care of him as a child. Typically, your answer would be mom or mother. But Edwin was cared for by Lyde. So if the spirit answers with anything other than Lyde, she shuts down communication, knows it's not him.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's a really smart way to do it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Lyde passed away at a young age. She died in 1947 from what we believe today could have been a heart attack.
And we think that was right here, right?
Yes, she passed away right in front of this fireplace. Edwin was devastated. He lost the woman who cared for him, his sister. He became obsessed with contacting his sister in the afterlife. In an effort to contact her, Edwin brought in mediums and occult experts from all over the country. Definitely brought some people who thought they knew what they were doing, but actually didn't.
Some charlatans looking for money.
Yeah. So Edwin decided to become an expert in the occult himself, and he learned how to become a seer.
And I think I watched a video where Kristen said that Edwin's one of the greatest psychics she speaks with.
Yeah.
Or greatest mediums.
This allowed him to speak to Lyde. And it's speculated that maybe Edwin wasn't properly trained for his communication sessions. Between Edwin and the other mediums and quote-unquote mediums that he brought into the home, the Bellaire House has 17 active portals. Portals are kind of like a door that's been left open, allowing anyone and everyone to come in.
Or anything and everything.
Right. Not inhuman spirits can pass through very easily. It's kind of like when you're using a Ouija board and you don't close the session of the board, you're just letting everything out. But perhaps this is why there are a variety of spirits in the Bellaire House besides Edwin and Lyde.
Besides ones that were actually affiliated with this house.
Right. I also think it's why a lot of people, they come here to talk to their loved ones who have passed on. People have traveled from all over the country just to come here to talk to their loved ones. Maybe that their loved ones can come through the portals and communicate with them here because there's so many and there's so much energy here. There's already so much going in favor of spirit communication, but add in portals, I'm here for it.
Absolutely. And for us in particular, we are at the summer solstice. We had the strawberry moon.
Yeah. It's a very spiritual time.
Yes.
So let's back it up just a little bit. We're going to start talking about some of the other reasons why this house is a hot spot for paranormal activity. In March of 1893, Jacob's coal mines in Bellaire were about to be abandoned when coal mine number 1 exploded. $8,000 was spent to attempt to put the fire out, but they couldn't stop it. And $8,000 back in 1893, probably a lot of money.
Probably.
42 men were killed in this explosion, and their bodies weren't found for days afterwards. I think this could contribute to the hauntings in the Bellaire House because coal mine number 1 is right below this house. The entrance to the mine is very close to the house as well. I think it's something like 300 feet away, something like that.
Which naturally has been closed off.
Right. In addition to the close proximity to the coal mines, the house is also close to sacred Shawnee Native American burial caves. The caves sit right behind the house. They're kind of covered by trees at the moment and bushes and stuff that we can't get through without a machete. And I forgot my machete at home. In the caves, the Native
Really?
American...
You forgot your machete at home?
I have a big knife. I don't have a machete. It's for cutting meat, but... And I have a bread knife.
I'm proud of you.
Anyway. I feel like you're not really proud, but okay. Anyway, in these caves, the Native Americans would have buried their leaders, shamans, healers, and witch doctors. Not only is the area home to expected Native American deaths, but also deaths caused by massacres in the French and Indian War in 1974, the French and Indian War came to Bellaire and committed large massacres of the Shawnees. Native American residual energy is still captured across the town, including the Bellaire House. This house is also tied to another war. You know, that little thing called the Civil War.
The current one or the one
No, the one way back then. Jacob Heatherington was friends with the original owner of Bellaire, Jacob Davis. They were both abolitionists, which for the crowd that may not know what this means, it's that they were in favor of abolishing the S word.
The ownership of other people.
Yes. We're not saying that word here because we do not wish to disrespect any spirits that may be from that time period.
It angers them.
But anyway, Jacob worked to free runaway owned people. There's actually a very small crawl space type area in the attic that seems like it could have fit 1 or 2 people, which would be perfect for this kind of work. The house even leads to a secret tunnel that runs underneath Bellaire. This entrance is in the basement of the house, but it's walled off now.
So it's speculated this house may have been a part of the Underground Railroad.
Yeah. There have been many reports of spirits from that situation lingering in the home. They do not like to be called the S word, and they get very upset when you do so. We try to always respect the spirits that we encounter wherever we go, and we don't want to preemptively disrespect a spirit. In our previous episode where we investigated the Ross house, we talked about the ley lines that cross in Bellaire, Ohio. Some believe that these can increase the paranormal activity in the home, as the ley lines indicate paths of positive earth energy.
It's supposed to be like right there, right? Like,
yeah, like they cross in this house.
Yes.
This house sits where 2 cross. You combine these ley lines with being along the Ohio River, and it's an energy superstorm. Water is believed to be a portal for spirits to communicate because of its constant moving and its magnetic pull.
Constant energy.
So let's talk about some of the spirits that are known to the house. We talked about Edwin, Lyde, Jacob, and Eliza. But several people report a much darker spirit that we really don't have a name for. He can sometimes overpower the other spirits in the house. The other more well-known spirit is that of Emily Davis. Emily presents herself as a child spirit. We all know that child spirits may not be innocent, but a malevolent spirit hiding its true intentions. She appears as a little girl in a white dress with sandy blonde hair. Kristen Lee, the owner of the Bellaire House, believes that she is an actual once alive earthly spirit. During a session, Kristen told Emily that she was there to help her go to heaven. Now, if she was an earthly spirit, she would likely react positively to this. If she wasn't, the word would invoke an angry response. Emily repeated the word heaven. So it kind of made Kristen feel like she was an earthly spirit. She was really a child, not a
entity trying to manipulate.
Yes. Emily likes to play tag, so you'll have to tune into our next video if she played tag with us. The Bellaire House experiences a variety of activities. It is literally a place where I feel comfortable telling someone they'll get guaranteed activity, which most places I would never say that. You'll experience the normal haunted location things like hearing footsteps, but you'll also experience much more, such as the entire house shaking. Not just like the windows rattling, but feeling like someone is grabbing, like this giant is outside, grabbing the house and just shaking it. Like we're in a dollhouse. Anyway. You'll hear doorknobs shaking, items moving on their own. Visual and auditory experiences happen frequently. I don't want to share too much about the experiences other people have had here because I want you to read Kristen Lee's book. She talks about so many experiences that people have had here, and it's truly amazing. There's even a case of possession or near possession. I don't want to be misleading with that word.
That was a good way to put that. Proud of you.
Thanks.
So make sure you guys tune into our next episode, which we will not make you wait a week for. But give us a couple of days to get through all of this footage. We'll put together an episode for you.
If we make it through tonight. Yeah.
But last night we experienced being touched. We experienced doors shaking. We experienced
Violently shaking.
footsteps, chairs rocking on their own. So we'll insert a little
Sneak peek.
We've been here all of 45 seconds. We've had time to come in and use the bathroom, and they found a REM pod that had been left here, and it has already been making noise.
Crazy.
Already. Here we go. We're literally carrying our stuff, and the REM pod just went off. Can you do that again?
Hi. Can you say hi to us? Can you touch the red button again for us?
No, I turned on the camera, so, naturally it's not going to work now.
Oh, look. There's Nat.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, we need you to slip in the basement tonight. We'll lose you up, buddy.
What?
Or we
Dave, you can't leave the door open.
Oh,
The only time I've ever seen him.
there it goes.
That's our now.
He's a grown man. He's on the Marines.
Yeah, I know.
Hi.
He's not the Marines.
Okay, true story.
So strange.
What?
We love a spooky pizza party.
Yay.
It is 1:30 in the morning, Friday night. We've had some small activities. We've got our new portal going. We've had a couple good Estes method sessions. Nothing really crazy. It's honestly pretty tame compared to what we're used to here. We just had another session to try and recenter, get everyone on the same page. Sammy and I are just kind of taking a moment. Then we'll be back at it to Edwin's room next.
The highest number I can get with him is a 3 because it'd be 2 plus 1.
Yeah.
This is elderly, and I could still use her, but I just won't get the plus 1. So,
Okay.
Do you have anybody that's an anybody now?
no. I know how to play. But since she has a 4,
So now,
We are in Edwin's room. Is that the room we're
I
in?
don't think that's. I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
the
Edwin's
big
room's
one
the
from
one
the
down there.
Okay, I lied. We're in the room that the attic,
is this
like the entrance to the attic is in, and Nat was leaning on the closet door, and something just started shaking the door, and she
What?
flipped out a little bit. And if we have a clip from our stationary cameras, we'll insert it. But it was loud and it was wild.
It was like pointing like right there.
This is Natalie.
No, you
This
don't.
is Natalie. This is that area over there.
so is it sitting next to me and Jacob?
It's behind,
Behind me.
Behind me or behind Jacob? Or
like
just
on
there?
that, like yeah, like
That
beside
space
the
between
window.
you.
Okay.
And gone.
And it's gone.
Make sure you go check us out on TikTok and Instagram at Spooky Sleuths Pod. If you're not watching over on YouTube, make sure you go there, subscribe to our channel, and leave a like on this video. If you made it to the end, put a little ghost emoji. I know we've probably done that one before, but it feels appropriate.
It's fitting. Make sure you guys subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. And make sure to leave us a rate and review on Apple or Spotify podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. And on that note,
Stay spooky, friends.